Hello, besties. Welcome to another Martini with Eddie. I hope you are having a great Wednesday night. It's been quite the week in the Bravo universe. We have news and we have new episodes. I also had the opportunity to speak to Jennifer Aiden last night on What Will Happen Live. That was really cool. Um, I will share the experience at the end of the episode, a little bit of uh, the feeling of knowing that you are going to talk to one of your favorite housewife. Um, it's it's a little uh, it's kind of a little starstruck, but it's awesome. I'm going to be recapping tonight Summer House and New Jersey. That's what we're gonna be talking about tonight. I'm also gonna give you my opinion and a couple of news that we got today. We got Drew and Rolf from Atlanta getting divorced, but the whole news situation was really funny because we got the news that Rolf filed for divorce, right? And we were like, "What the hell?" Like the toxic guy is the one who's filing for divorce, but then later on, we find out that Drew pretty much beat him to filing because she filed for it 61 minutes before he did. So that's gonna be interesting to talk about, right, you guys? Um, let's start with Summer House. Summer House is having a very dramatic season. We are seeing the fallout of Carl and Kyle's friendship. Uh, the episode start at the dinner where we left the last time. We found out because Kyle shared with Maya that Carl, you know, his issue with drugs were affecting his you know productivity at work to the point that he forgot his laptop and was not. Danielle overheard the information and she didn't feel like Kyle was right uh, by sharing this. And this is a very sensitive topic because we are talking about two friends, like best friends that work together. And like I said before in my previous recap, it's really hard to work with your friend. It's really hard to establish a business with your best friend, especially when one of those friends are going through issues with substance abuse. It's really hard you know to be a friend and to be a boss slash coworker. Those lines get blurred really easily. So maybe that's why Kyle felt so comfortable talking about it with Maya, because in his head he's sharing something to a friend about a friend in common. But I don't think it was the right time, right place to do so. I think Kyle shouldn't have just talked to Carl and mentioned this to him. Um, Danielle told Kyle that Carl feels like he's not being appreciated and he needs to get more money out of, you know, this business situation. To which Kyle did not feel that way. He felt like he was the person holding Carl's hand in the process of um, him getting his life together, in the process of him being able to find a job and be productive as he's dealing with his demons, as he's dealing with, you know, um, alcoholism and drug addiction and stuff like that. I don't know, you guys. I really like Kyle. I appreciate what he brings to the show. I think Kyle as a person is also a very fun guy. I spoke to him very briefly during BravoCon. He was very nice, and I can tell that he was having a, maybe a little too much alcohol in his mouth, said too much. He mentioned that on What Will Happen Live last time that he was on it, that it was the wrong place, wrong time. And I agree on that. One thing that I do find very interesting and, you know, and Paige kind of point out is the fact that Danielle is quick to defend, people that she think are friends to her. And I do believe that Lindsay will defend Danielle if something like this was to happen, before their beef, because we know that right now Lindsay and Danielle are not in good terms. But Paige said that she is quick to defend these people when maybe they haven't done the same thing to her, or they haven't proven that loyalty to her to the point that she needs to defend them at any time, at any point. And I have to say, I there is a side of me that kind of agreed with Paige, because have been watching the show since day one, and it maybe it's because it comes down to personalities. Like, some people take friendships and loyalty pretty much by definition, that they have to be loyal at all times no matter what. And that's how I feel like Danielle takes friendship and loyalty. Something that maybe Lindsay is not as outspoken, or is not as, she's not always trying to defend her friend at all time. That doesn't mean that she's not a friend. That doesn't mean that she's not loyal. It's maybe the way that her personality shows how she feels, right? Um, I'm really looking forward to see how. Well, not looking forward. That sounds like I want not to be friend, but I'm really curious to see what triggers the fallout of Lindsay and Danielle. Like, what really is the tipping point for that friendship that's been going on for a very long time to literally fall apart. Um, it's just it just seems to me that summer house this season is very influenced by the fact that Carl and Lindsay are together. Lindsay has always been a very polarizing character in the house, but now she also has the support of, you know, her boyfriend Carl, who used to be really good friend with Kyle, who is also part of that group of people that has always felt in some kind of way about Lindsay. So it's a whole mess. I'm just really happy though that we have three newbies this time around, because I need some fun. I feel like summer should be fun. Summer should be a time to remember, because I don't know you guys, especially for us people who live up north, like in the tri-state area, New York, New Jersey, Connecticut, this area up here, in all this part where we get a long ass winter, we look forward to the summer for good times. So knowing that these people go to the Hamptons to have a great time, to forget about work, and just enjoy the summer, it feels like the past few episodes there has been very little fun. Summer house, sometimes it's like the parties are amazing. The um I just want to say hello to everybody who's joining. I don't want to make you guys feel like I'm not reading the chat. I just want to say hello to everybody who's joining. I just want to remind you guys that we are talking about Summer House right now, and we'll be talking about um, New Jersey afterward. Talking about the newbies, Gabby. Oh my gosh, I am absolutely in love with Gabby. She is bringing this energy that I love. First of all, she is obsessed with the zodiac signs, and uh, I think it's really funny when somebody can judge somebody's personality based on their zodiac sign. I'm not sure if it's a positive quality to have, because who knows how accurate the signs are. But we all know that Gabby hates a Cancer man. She does not like Cancer men. She said the Cancer men are trash. And I don't know. Have I don't even know if I have dated a Cancer. I don't think so. So I can talk on the topic, but she definitely feels in some kind of way. When she was on Watch What Happened Live, they actually had a whole segment with her about celebrity, people, and guessing their sign based on how they act, and she pretty much guessed every single one of them. So she knows her stuff. um in As part of the her segment on the show, she shared that she wrote a note. She wrote a note as her ex. She wrote a note passing as her ex, and the note reads as follow. She wrote, "I am a liar and a cheater. I don't deserve the girl who I claim to be my girlfriend for the past 4 years. Gabby Prescott is one of the best people I have ever met, and I have wasted her time and take advantage of her love and her trust. I'm sorry for this, but it's a pattern of behavior." And what she did is that she posted that note on his social media, and all of them, in his LinkedIn, in his Instagram, Facebook, everybody. I mean, everywhere, for everybody to see. And I'm telling you, that's like the perfect way to break up. I'm not saying go and steal your exes, or break up with people by, putting notes on their social media, but that was genius. I'm just gonna say that. um she I'm telling you, the newbies are bringing this new, fresh, fun energy that is needed in the house, because this whole Carl versus Danielle, and the Lindsay drama that we have to deal with every single episode. I'm happy that they are having a good time. Another piece of information, which is actually kind of funny, talking about a newbie and a cast that has been for a long time, is that we also found out that Gabby's ex, Gabby's ex, was dating Danielle at the same time. So while Gabby was, working or whatever, and the guy was telling her, "Hey, I'm out here doing something," that something was Danielle. And they went to Coachella together, and that's how Gabby found out who the girl that he was cheating her with was. And what a coincidence that that girl is also living in the house. If you ask me, there's not such thing as coincidence in a casting universe. And the fact that Bravo found a way to bring a cast member, a newbie, that somehow has a connection with her without not knowing her necessarily, that they didn't know in person, but she knew of her because her ex cheated on her with her. And on top of that, I give credit to Gavi, because she said that she cannot place the blame on Danielle for the shit that her ex did to her. And that right there says a lot about her character. I appreciate when a woman says, "You know what? It's not the other women's fault for this guy's cheating behavior, it's the cheating behavior of the guy." Because a lot of the time, especially on reality TV, for the sense of drama, the ladies fight over a guy all the freaking time. We had seen it on the Housewives. We had seen it in Southern Charm, where somebody is fighting over this guy as if this guy was like the best thing ever after uh, white bread, like sliced white bread. Like honestly, no. I really like what Gabby said in her confessional because it gives a sense of confidence. She said like, you know what? I'm gonna become friend with this girl because she's really cool, and also it's gonna make that guy shit his own pants when he see me hanging out with the person that he cheated on me with. And that right there is somebody with a confident behavior and a confident personality. So kudos to Gabby. One of the moments that I always find interesting and I appreciate the when a cast member is going through a health issue and they want to share with everybody in a way that you can identify with. In this case was Amanda. Amanda was saying that she was trying to get pregnant and she hasn't been able to, and then she stopped having her period. And she said that her period was stopped in November. And if you guys count, that's about maybe 5 months before she started filming this season. And she hasn't gone to a doctor to check what's happening down there. As I'm pointing, if you guys are watching on YouTube or right now live, you guys can see my hands pointing down there. But you know what I mean. Um, all the ladies are like, hey, you need to go. We need to call, a doctor. You need to make sure that you go. We are here to help you because it seems like she is scared of what she's going to find out. And she may be scared that she might not be able to procreate. And that is a fear that many, many women out there have on a daily. So these type of conversations are important. Also, we gotta remember the age group of these girls. They are in the late 20s, mid 30s. That's the range, you know. So a lot of the viewers are in that age range. A lot of the viewers have these questions, and maybe sometimes, seeing their favorite Bravo Lab, opening up about these topics, it's a great way to kind of like say, hey, you know what? I'm not the only one going through this. I'm gonna make sure that I do the right thing, which is go to a freaking doctor. It's like I said this with Giselle. Sometimes, sometimes sharing your most, painful or your biggest fear when it comes to health that you are going through, it's a way to connect with viewers because it humanizes the person in the screen. It makes them a human and not just a quote unquote celebrity. Because sometimes we think about celebrities or, in our case, our Bravo Labs as somebody who don't have any issues or like are so above or something like that, that they don't have any type of like, oh, they don't have the same struggles because they are people on TV. But when it comes down to reality, when it comes down to the people, you know, they are human going through the same issues, through the same problems, through the same concerns that me and you go through on a daily. So when Amanda was sharing her experience and her fears, I sympathize with her. I'm not a woman, as you can hear. I have a very deep voice. I don't think I sound like a lady, but and I don't have a vagina, so I don't have that fear of not being able to procreate. But as a human, I can say I feel so bad for her, And I'm pretty sure there's women out there saying, I understand what you're saying, I sympathize with you, or I'm going through the same. So kudos to Amanda. And once again, there's nothing that makes me happier than seeing women supporting women. Um, Maybe because I grew up in a very strong women household. Like my mother, my grandmothers, my aunts, those were the pillars of our house. You know, the strongest images in my life, obviously my uncle, my dad, my grandpa, they are the, that masculine image and the father image or whatever. But personally, as I had seen them through life, women has been the driving force of my household growing up, and the people around me. It was always the women's pushing. So I love when women support other women's, because I think it's easy, especially nowadays, in maybe young women. I mean, the competition out there is strong. The competition for jobs, for friendship, for marriage, for men, for whatever. There is a sense of competition that sometimes you forget that the best way to build, um, is not by bringing people down. You don't build things up by bringing people down, but by helping them also bring and build their own lives too. So kudos to the ladies. But at the same time, there was a conversation that was had at the same tea party, and it was the fact that Danielle contacted Carl about what Kyle said, and I don't know. By I understand why she did it. I understand that that's her friend's boyfriend, and she's trying to defend him or whatever. But I want you guys to tell me. I want you guys to go to my Instagram or my Twitter or here on my comment section or on my podcast. Do you think it was Danielle's job to call Carl and tell him what Carl was saying, or should she maybe have advised Carl to speak to Carl directly? Because based on the conversation that Danielle was having with Carl, she was pushing for Carl to quit his job with Loverboy. And I honestly do not think that that should be Danielle's, not even Lindsay's, to say. I don't think they should be pushing Carl to quit his job. One thing is not being happy about your job. One thing is not being happy about what you're doing, or maybe wanting something else. But like I said previously, I think Carl has not made it clear to Kyle what he wants to do in within Loverboy. The fact that he went away to California without letting his superiors know what he was doing is a sign that you don't care about your job. But that shouldn't be other people saying or other people telling you to quit. You should be able to speak to the person that you consider your best friend about it. Like Kyle fucked up by talking about Carl's drug problem when he first started working for a lower boy. I also feel like it's a little fucked up that Carl is keeping it to himself, the fact that he's not happy at work, and now he has Lindsay and Danielle in his ears, making it more, it make it feel more like a gossip situation instead of a work professional field situation. So I want you guys to tell me your perspective on this topic, because to be honest, uh, there seems to be a lot of miscommunication, especially between Kyle and Carl, that happens when other people get involved in the conversation. When people like, Lindsay is in Carl's ear, and I know that's her boyfriend, but I don't think it's up to Lindsay to decide what Carl needs to do for his own good. Then you have Danielle, and then on Kyle's side, you have, everybody else. And even Amanda said that people who were working at Loverboy were concerned about Carl's, productivity and all this stuff. But that type of conversation does not, it shouldn't be happening over a tea party, over a dinner out in the Hamptons. It should happen in an office where Carl and Kyle can sit down and decide where they need to move, what they need to do to move forward. And I'm gonna share this because I agree 100%. Aaron wrote, I think the third party are making everything bigger and messier 100%. Because I do believe that if Kyle and Carl spoke about these topics, just the two of them in an office or in a private setting, or just them out in a lunch, whatever, but just the two of us, this would have been such a big issue. I think the issue got bigger and messier the moment the other people starting to insert themselves in the conversation, bringing their own drama to something that is work related. That's just my opinion. And that's, yeah. I just want to know you guys' opinions. I'm loving Sam, by the way, you guys. I want to say this. When Bravo gets a cast right, it gets it right. And the three newbies are great. I like them all three. They bring different flavors and different personalities, and I like that. But Gabby and Sam, I absolutely love them. I love Sam because she is this bubbly, fun, big personality on the show, and it, I'm starting to feel like they are bringing new people with an energy that matches the people who have been on the show for a long time. Because some of those people, people who have been since season one, they might be wanting to leave the show. I mean, how many more summers in the Hamptons can Kyle and Amanda do now that they're married? They have a business. How many more summers Carl and Lindsay can do when Carl is checked out pretty much of the show? And Lindsay too. You can tell that Carl is like, okay, I need to do something else with my life. I'm trying to get sober. The show is definitely not a positive setting for his sobriety because the premises of the show is going to the Hamptons to have a good time in the summer, and 99% of the time involves alcohol. So there is a sense that these people who have been from the beginning are outgrowing the show. So they are bringing people in that somehow can match their energy. So if these people leave the show, these newbies can take part of the show just organically. I want to share this too because I love this. Erin says, I like Sam because she just seems happy, like a person you would want to be around. 100%. She said something during this episode. She said, I'm looking for the guy who will jump up on the counter and dance with me, not the guy who is gonna watch. And that says to me, this girl is fun to hang out with. And like I said it on my post, I posted on my story. I'm like, Sam, I'm a very gay man. I'm a very gay man, but I'm the guy who will jump on a counter and dance all night. So let's be besties. She replied to me on the message. She sent me a message, and I appreciate that. But I love Sam. That's the type of girl that I want to hang out with. That's the type of girl that I want to go on trips. That's the type of girl that I want to go to the beach and have a great time. And that's what I said. She has the potential to be on the show for many more seasons. Like they are bringing great people to the show. So kudos to those who are, making casting decisions in Summer House. Now let's talk about Jersey. Yes. Jersey is it's been a messy season, you guys. It's messy. Um I am I obviously I am a tree hugger. I love Jennifer Aiden. I love Danielle Cabral, so you can tell that I'm going to be biased with my opinion, but I welcome everybody to leave comments on the comment section. If you disagree with me, I will read your comment. We can talk. This is a conversation, so please feel free to leave comments on the chat or on my Instagram or my Twitter. This is a free space for conversation, and it's safe. I'm not going to attack you if you don't agree with me. That's not my style. Unless you attack me personally, I go Jersey on your ass. But if we are gonna talk about opinions, this is a space for it. Let's start with the whole love bubble invitation. I want to start with that part because that's pretty much what this whole episode is all about. This love bubble housewarming party at Teresa's. We know that she got a new home. She invited people to come to the house, and we know that obviously it can be a party in Jersey without some family drama. During the episode, we see Joe, Gorga, and Teresa talking over the phone. We see Louis pushing Teresa to speak to her brother. A lot of people are not happy about this. And I'm like, wait a minute. You are saying that Louis is not a good man or is manipulating Teresa because she's trying to get her to speak to her brother, which is something that deep inside Teresa and Joe Gorga wants to do. You know, so I do not understand what this huge outrage against this conversation on Twitter, especially because I posted it on my Twitter and a lot of people responded saying, "Oh, Lou is just being manipulative. He's telling Teresa exactly what to say," or yeah, he's feeding her words. And like, yes, but he's not feeding her words that are going to make Joe Gorga feel bad. He's literally telling her to vocalize that they want peace, that they're gonna do it Joe Gorga's way, because Joe Gorga doesn't want to talk about anything. He just want to move forward. And I'm doing air quotes because that doesn't seem to me like moving forward if you are going to still drag this issue every single time that you have a chance. For more perspective, this season was filmed before BravoCon. And like I said it before, during BravoCon, everything that Gorga said was bad mouthing Teresa and Louis. But Teresa did not play the same game. During BravoCon, she just focused on talking about her family, her wedding that just happened, and all this stuff. She was focusing on herself. Joe Gorga was focusing on her sister. So I don't know what Gorga wants to do to move forward to mend the relationship between him and Teresa. But also on this episode, Teresa invites Joe Gorga to once again to her house, to the housewarming party. And people are saying, "Oh, she didn't want him to come and whatever." I'm like, no, It seems to me like Joe Gorga was invited even before that. Teresa invited everybody. She mentioned the housewarming party in front of all the women during the mozzarella party. So it was not like she sent invitations and she didn't send one to Joe Gorga. He was invited. She was making sure when he when they were talking, when she called him, she was making sure to know if he was coming to the party. But by the way that Joe Gorga acted afterwards, he's trying to make it feel like he was just invited the same day, which was not the case. You know, he said that he didn't want to go, that he wasn't ready, or he just said that he said I don't want to go. Like I have the screenshots of the conversation. He said like he says verbatim, I'm really not ready to come. Honestly, I just don't want to come. So that was his choice. That was 100% his choice. So I respect that. He didn't want to go. He didn't want to go. That's I mean whatever, that's his choice. I mean nobody should be forced to do nothing they don't want to do. But do not use that. Do not weaponize that to make yourself feel like a victim. Because after this, cell phone conversation with Teresa, and then after he spoke to Melissa over the phone while she was getting ready, he made it a point to make a post afterward saying about the whole chosen family comment. So if you, I mean, why? You say that you don't want to go. You say that you didn't feel ready to go, and honestly, you didn't want to go, and you want to stay home, and whatever. That's fine. But then do not use that to make a bigger issue out of a simple speech at a housewarming party that you were invited in the first place. So that chosen family included you, you just didn't show up. You know? I want to read this. I want to, because I want to make sure you guys know that even though it sounds like I'm defending Teresa, I want to share everybody's opinions. Erin sent these comments right here. She said Teresa and Joe have both been wrong in the past, but this seems like Teresa was really trying and Luis was helping. I appreciate that. If Joe couldn't put his feelings aside for the night for his sister, it's understandable, but he should respect where she is too. And that's my point. That's exactly my point. He chose not to go. If he's not ready, that's his prerogative. You gotta respect that. I respect that. I love Teresa. But if Joe Gorga feels like he's not ready to move forward or to be at a party because he feels like he can be, whatever. If he can put aside those feelings, then don't be policing how your sister talks in her own house. You know, when she said the words "chosen family," that is just the word that says, you know what, you guys are here for me. You guys are my family. Melissa Gorga was right there, so that included her too. And then she went in this full on dramatic cry that if you look closely, more than once she looked directly into the camera, waiting for that camera moment. And she may feel a little sad about her nieces being outspoken about her feelings, about their feelings, when it comes down to this whole we work so they can have food on their table, blah blah blah. Guess what? Those girls lived through it. So I'm 100% sure if they truly 100% were there for those girls, they will not be singing these songs. They will not be talking to them this way. This is not just like, oh, they're doing it for the cameras. Gia was old enough to remember what happened. You have Gabriella, who's very shy, very camera shy. She barely talks. She has been more, you know, outspoken about it. And not to point fingers, but the one who decided to talk about this on a big platform was Joe Gorga and Melissa on their podcast. Like, why was that even necessary to talk about? They're talking about their own nieces. And then in a confessional, Melissa says that she is so sad that her nieces are full of hatred. Like, who says that about their own nieces? Hatred. Hatred is a huge word. You know? Hatred is a huge word to put on a 16, 17-year-old girl and a 21-year-old girl. You know? Maybe, just maybe, you think that by just being there when the cameras are rolling, you are helping them. But that is not 100% true because it sounds more like being opportunistic than being there for your family when it's needed. There's still a fight over the wedding invitation and the wedding party and all this stuff. Teresa made a point. Teresa said, like, they didn't invite your family for Antonia's Sweet 16. And no, I'm not comparing a wedding to a Sweet 16. I'm not that stupid. I'm not that dumb. I understand that those are two different social events. But the sentiment is, if it's all about family, then you invite people who are going for your family. And at the same time, it shows that Teresa was not pushing anybody to be invited. She wasn't pushing Melissa or Joe Gorga to invite people who might be their family or not. She wasn't on Melissa's ear saying you need to invite, this person's family that I'm dating. At that point, I don't think they were even engaged. I think, but they weren't. They didn't care. So we need to remember that part. I I I honestly do not think that anyone needs to be forced to invite people to their own party just because they're related to somebody in your family. It it's also based on the last few years. You can tell that Melissa and Teresa, they're not in a great place. They had never been in a great place. They tolerate each other. They got to the point they were okay with each other. You know, I'm gonna read this real quick from K Mama. She said Joe and Melissa should have thought before they went on the podcast. 100%. Words have consequences. Aaron sent this message. I think Melissa said her niece have hate for her, and it's important to understand her feelings. Watching her niece talk about her for years, even when they were very young. Yeah, I mean, I know that especially Gia, she's older. She probably said a couple of stuff about Melissa, but I also feel like, and this is just my opinion. This is not based on like I know them personally. This is just my perspective as a viewer. When Teresa went away, those girls' support are those girls support are, the family. That family was Joe Gorga and Melissa Gorga. They were supposed to be there for the girls. And if the only time they were truly there for them was when the cameras were rolling, as they even said themselves, they said, "Oh, we were there because we wanted to interact with Joe Judice so he can be on the show, and the girls can like get some like food on the table." That's what they said. So it's not far fetched that these girls feel like that the only time that they actually saw them was when the cameras were rolling. Allegedly, Joe Gorga and Melissa only spoke to only spoke to her brother. I mean to Teresa when the cameras were rolling while she was away. And I'm not saying that Teresa is a saint. I'm not saying that she is perfect because she's a human. Human make mistakes, and um, I can see how Joe feels like her sister hasn't been too nice to his wife and all this stuff. But the root of this problem comes from the beginning of the show, from the beginning of the Gorgas joining the cast of New Jersey behind Teresa's back. So there has always been this family, I would say like jealousy between the family members of whoever's get the spotlight more than the other one. So that's what's happening, you know? And it's really sad when the collateral damage of these fights are the kids, you know? Uh, Even Gia said it herself in her confessional. She said, like, it's sad that when our parents are fighting, the one that we don't get to see are our cousins. We can hang out because it feels weird, you know? At this point, it's exhausting to even talk about this drama because we've been talking about this for what? It's now 10 years since the Gorgas joined the show. And it seems like nobody is doing the right thing to mend the problem. And at this point, there's nothing to mend because based on what they've been saying, Teresa doesn't want to talk to Joe. It's over. And Melissa said, you know what? We are not even trying anymore. It's uh, it's interesting because their issue right now is the wedding, right? The way that the Gorgas handle it too is also very weird. The way that Joe Gorga went on his Instagram and posted photos and little like dicks at his sister. The day of his sister wedding, he had like a party with the in-laws, and he kept saying like, "This is better than going to a wedding." Obviously, something bothers you. Obviously, you are doing too much to pretend that you don't care that you were not present, you know? So, he made it this big issue. He chose not to go to the wedding. He chose to believe what other people said about what Teresa might have said or not, which we will find out that it was not Teresa, the one who started the rumor about Melissa Gorga. We kind of have that insight now. You can go watch my interview with Laura, and she kind of talks about this whole mess. So it's really funny to me that the person who is on Melissa's ear and Joe Gorga's ear talking trash about Joe's sister is the one who gets away with everything. And I'm talking about Marge. Marge, it's I don't even know. But to me it's very interesting. Like we talk about it on my interview with Laura, that the person who's a bone collector, the person who's always looking for dirt in everybody else, is the one that gets away with everything. So maybe that's why Melissa hasn't, you know, stopped being friends with her, because what if what Margaret has on Melissa is true? I don't know. To me, it's allegedly. So don't come for me. Don't send me no cease and desist. I'm just saying that what is being said on the streets kind of makes sense to me. So they took this wedding topic and made it about themselves, when this wedding is about Teresa. This wedding is about Teresa. It's about her happiness, and these people have made it this like big deal that the in-laws weren't invited. But the in-laws. I really want to know. This is came up and said something that I'm really curious about. They always said like Melissa was close to their father, and I'm not questioning it. It might be true, but I don't think there is enough footage to prove that. Because if there were, I'm pretty sure that they will be doing flashback every 5 seconds when they mention our parents were close, our parents were close, our parents uh, um, were always there for each other, or Melissa's parents took care of the girls while Teresa was away, and all this stuff. I'm not saying that they didn't know each other. I don't. I'm not saying that they might not been friendly and acquaintance kind of thing, but were they really that close? Who knows? But that's just my opinion on Jersey. I wanna also mention two more fights that happened during the show that I'm obsessed with. One is between Jackie and Danielle. Jackie and Danielle were arguing over clothing because Jackie said that Danielle looked like she grabbed a pair of shorts from the hamper. And Danielle was like, you know what, bitch, I'm gonna face you right now. And one thing that Danielle is pure Jersey slash Staten Island. She talks with her hands. I talk with my hands a lot too. So when I'm talking to somebody, I always go like this. So the fact that she was doing the same thing, and then she started to do like jazz hands. It was really funny. Um, I'm loving Danielle. She is not afraid to face anyone on that show. She is fun. She is bougie. She is Jersey. I love her. I love Danielle. And you can tell that she definitely demoted Jackie. This is it to me is very strange that after the show was filmed, Jackie came out and said that she was not going to be a full-time housewife because she was going to take care of herself. And I appreciate that. Might be true or not. But Jackie has been on pretty much every episode just as much as the other housewives. Evan is just as involved as a house husband on the drama as everybody else. Evan was present as at the at the boys' night out. They have been going to all the parties, so they are filming. So I'm starting to believe as the show is airing is the fact that Danielle outshined Jackie, and that's why Jackie was demoted. And one thing that I had noticed though, I'm surprised by Jackie's and Jennifer's. I don't want to say friendship because I don't think they're friends. They're friends, but I don't know if you guys noticed that when Jackie and Jennifer were having a kiki, they were having a good time. Jackie and Jennifer were having a good time for like a hot second until Marge intervened and ruined the fun for everybody. When she was trying to get Jackie to get upset. She was saying, "Oh yeah, Jennifer, talk about you and all this stuff." And Jackie's like, yeah, we all do." um, I love the newbies. Love them. Um, oh my gosh, when Rachel went to dinner with Jess Fessler, and she was ordering food, and Rachel asked Jess if they can share the margarita pizza, and she said like, "No, I'm not into that." I'm like, "Oh my gosh, that's me." I hate it. I hate to share food with people. Like, get your own shit. Like, if we are sharing appetizers, yeah, appetizers are fine to share. Like, we can get 20 appetizers. We can share all this stuff. That's all good. But if I'm ordering my meal, my main course, you are not sticking your fingers or you're not touching my food. Like, that's not my thing. I'm not into any of that. Get your own French fries, bitch. Get your own French fries. I'm not sharing my French fries with you. That's just me just saying. But I laughed. I laughed really hard when she told Rachel to just get your own shit, girl. Get your own shit. That was hysterical. But also we got into that lunch that Rachel and Jess had is what leads to the fight between Rachel and Jennifer Aiden at the end of the episode because they were talking about it. They were saying that um, Jennifer was making comments about her nose, and then she called her uh, to talk about Dolores, and that was brought up at the Love Bubble party. Which, by the way, there was a mermaid inside a bubble. It was so literal. I was laughing. I think it was a mermaid or somebody dancing with a fan. It was hysterical. I mean, the whole bubble thing. I mean, Teresa, she's gonna be all over the top, and I love it. The fact that you know, Jennifer had no issues calling the other person over. She was talking to um to Margaret and Rachel. And she said, and Margaret said, "You also called Jess Fessel to talk about me." And she's like, "Hold on one second. Jess, come over here. Let's talk it out. What's up? What's good? What's good?" I'm like, yes. And that's why I love Jennifer Aiden. I love her because she has no problem by calling people out to their faces. It's so funny that she said to Rachel that I call you to apologize because your nose job is bad. I'm like, oh my gosh. I mean, I'm not making fun of Rachel's appearance, not the point. But it's just funny how the argument of these two women is over a nose job because they were talking. Jennifer had a nose job and she wasn't that happy with the results, and then Rachel had a nose job and she felt so confident about it. But I mean, and just this is just personal. This is just personal opinion. I appreciate when people get surgery that looks like they didn't have surgery done, that it looks somehow, they fit their face. And not for nothing, Rachel is a beautiful woman. Her face is just beautiful too. Like she has beautiful features. But you can tell from miles and miles away, from the moon, you can tell that she got a nose procedure because it's so tiny to their face, like so pointy. You're like, yeah, that's not a natural nose. Like everybody knows because I'm very outspoken about it. I didn't get a nose job, quote unquote. I got my septum fixed. I got my deviated septum fixed. So my nose changed because the inside of my nose was crooked, like really, really badly. Like I couldn't breathe through one of my nostrils. And one thing that I said to my doctor was, I know that there's going to be a change to the appearance of my nose because it's a surgery to fix your nose, to make it straight. So I told my doctor, I do not want my nose to look like a little tiny, little thin or pointy. I want my nose to fit my face. That when people look at my face, they don't realize that I got my nose changed. And I wish people were more aware of that because I had seen many, 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 many people in my lifetime that you can tell from the get go that they had work done. I always think that getting some work to improve your image should make you look good about yourself, but it still not change 100% your appearance of who you are. You know? Um, but it's just funny, and I know it's always a low blow when housewives go for people's appearance and whatever. Um, but at least we know that this fight is gonna get Rachel activated, Jennifer's activated. So this is gonna be the beginning of that really hardcore division in the group because the newbies come into play, in this field with people that have like connections from the past, and they had to find their way in the show. So you can start seeing where each and one of them are heading towards. You know that Danielle is going to be Teresa and Jennifer Aiden's friend. And you know that Rachel Fuda is going to be Melissa and March friend. And you can start seeing those cracks in that division. And that's what makes this show fun. At least we're starting to get a different type of drama than just the Gorgas fighting with Teresa and Teresa fighting with the Gorgas because it's exhausting, it's tiring, and yes, we need to move on. We need to move on from all this family drama that has been happening since season 3 because I'm tired. 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 I'm just as tired as the windows in Melissa Gorga's house, if you know what I mean. Those windows are so tired, they're crooked. Oh, God, that's why you hire a professional architect to design your home. and then you hire people to do the work and pay them, perhaps based on lawsuits they're having. That they have some lawsuits out there. It's very public. I'm not making anything up. So remember, hire an architect to design your house, hire people to do the work, and then pay them. So yeah, I'm excited for Jersey. A lot of people are tired of the fights. I'm not the only one who has been outspoken about the that how long we can stretch this Gorga versus Teresa and Teresa versus the Gorgas fight. I mean, if we go one more episode with this, it's just it's gonna be it's turning into Beverly Hills. It's turning into Beverly Hills, and we don't want that. I mean, New Jersey has always been about the family dynamics. It has always been about the last names. It has always been about the Menzos and the Gorgas and the Judices, and and it seems like at this point we get it. We get the premises. We know the Jersey is all about family. That's just the Jersey way. As somebody who grew up in Jersey, I understand that 100%. But we needed new blood, we needed new drama, and that's why I'm so happy that they cast Danielle, they cast Rachel Fuda, even though I'm not a fan of her because I'm obviously biased, as you can hear me talk about it. I'm open. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I like Teresa, Jennifer, and that's my team. That's my winning team. But I understand that for the sake of a reality TV show, for the sake of a show, you need to have, antagonism. You need to have a team that you like and a team that you don't like. You can like them all at the same time, but you have to understand that some people are gonna fight, and that's just the basic of life in general. So I appreciate Rachel Fuda, even though she is not part of my team. I need people to come in and challenge people. So that's why Danielle, Rachel Fuda, and Jess Fessler are an amazing cast for this franchise. They needed that extra push to to make it longer. It was getting stale. It still feels stale because we're still dealing with the same drama, but this new energy is bringing new topics and bringing new energy and bringing new, you know, um, kind of like reasons to watch it. Like I watch New Jersey because I obviously love to watch Jennifer Aiden and Teresa and whatever nonsense Margaret and Melissa are trying to like create. But now I have Danielle. I want to get to know her. I want to know what she's all about. I want to know her family. I want to get to know where she comes from. What is her deal? I want to get to know Rachel Fuda, her story with her IVF and all this stuff. And Rachel and Danielle has family issues just like Teresa, which is really funny. How parallel are their stories, like issues with the brother and the sister-in-law are not very supportive or whatever, or they feel like the sister-in-law should be doing more to bring their family together. It's very similar, you guys. And now we also have Jess Fessler, who's very funny. It kind of gives me like, I mean, not in the same level, but it's giving me kind of like Kathy Hilton vibes. Kind of that cookie, uh, one-liner, uh, really random stuff that make you laugh. That maybe she doesn't even know that she's that funny. She seems to be those like, I'm just gonna say whatever is on my mind, and people are like, "Holy crap, that's really funny." So that makes me really excited. Before I go, you guys, I want to share with you the news that Drew and Rolf are getting divorced. They filed for divorce today. But the funniest part is that the news were when the news broke, it was like Rolf was the one who filed for divorce. And I was like, What in the hell? Like, why is this toxic ass man the one who filed for divorce after a whole season of like writing a book and pretending to care and all this stuff and trying to mend the marriage because we all know that he had some kind of like massage, alleged massage, or whatever. I mean, I was shocked. I was like, not shocked. I was like, I was pretending to be shocked because I knew that their marriage was not great based on what we watch on our TVs. Um, I was just shocked that he was the one who fouled. But then, like half an hour later, we found out that the one who also filed for divorce was Drew, and she won at filing because she filed 61 minutes before he did. How freaking crazy, you guys. I'm like, I need Andy and a camera because this is drama that we are going to miss on the show because the show just wrapped like a week or 2 weeks ago. So he waited for the show to wrap to plan this divorce filing. But then Drew was like, "No, bitch, you're not filing before me." So she rushed to the courthouse, filed before him. So technically, she was the one divorcing him. And that is, honestly, that's going to be on my top 10 housewife topics when we do the countdown at the end of the year. I'm gonna write that down because I had never seen anything more interesting than a couple fighting who's going to be filing the divorce first. I honestly was laughing my ass off when I read the update of the story when the story was developing. Because we first got the news that the Ralph filed, but then we get no. Guess what? Drew filed an hour before he did, and that right there is why we love Housewives. Uh I just really, really want Drew to be happy. And I can see Drew being more herself now that she is divorcing this toxic ass man. I always felt like Rolf was like an anchor attached to Drew's ankle, just keeping, like, dragging her down, you know? So now she can finally be herself. So we need Andy and a camera to start rolling for the following season right now. Or no, or like they like no, what they have to do, actually what they need to do is what they did with that criminal Jen Shah. When she went to court to, you know, to plead guilty after the show wrapped. And what did they do? They grabbed the camera and they went to New York and they followed the story for the end of the season. So that's how I want this season to end. If they did that for that criminal, they can do this for Drew and Rolf because this is more interesting to me. Because I didn't want to know anything about Jen Shah because she was lying from the beginning and I don't want to hear more about her lies. But on the other hand, I had seen Drew and Rolf going through ups and downs, especially because this man is a toxic ass man who was dragging Drew to the mall and she couldn't be herself because she was trying to save this marriage. And now the marriage is not a problem anymore. I want to know how it ends. So I believe that Andy should be calling the production company that films Atlanta and telling them, you bitches better grab your camera and start, filming like a special out of this. Because if he's not doing that, he's failing as a producer. Because if I was an executive producer, you best believe that when I got the news that was happening, I was already on the phone calling the production company to get them out on the field. Because we deserve that as viewers. And that's my case. I rest my case. I rest. Look at me. I don't even know what I'm saying. I rest my case. And with that said, I really appreciate you guys for joining me tonight in another recap this week. I will be doing a recap tomorrow for Vanderpump Rules and also Miami. So please stay tuned for that. We're gonna be talking about the drama in Vanderpump Rules. We know we have the Katie divorce with Swartz and Lala, and we have James Kennedy and Raquel. I mean, it's a whole mess. It's a mess, and I'm loving it. I love Vanderpump Rules. It's my favorite show. And we're also gonna be talking about the finale of Miami. Tomorrow is the last episode, so be ready because I know it's gonna be dramatic. Then we have this week is pretty much the ending of a lot of our favorite shows. Tomorrow is the finale of Miami. Obviously, we have the reunion starting next week. This weekend is the end of Potomac, and we should be gearing up to get new shows. We are getting Ultimate Girls Trip Season 3 with Thailand at the end of March. And we also should be getting Orange County soon too. Which, by the way, that trailer should have been out by now. I don't know where it is. I don't know who's keeping this trailer hostage, but we need that trailer right now. And with that said, you guys, I just want to say thank you for tuning in. We see you guys tomorrow. If you like this podcast, like I always ask you guys, please, please, please go to my podcast and rate my podcast, because that's how our podcast survive. The more ratings we get, the more it's shown out there, the more people can see it. And that's what that's what we do. We just want to make sure that if you are enjoying it, just share with the world, share with your friends. I truly love you guys. Thank you so much. Also, if you liked it, if you like this podcast, subscribe. You can also subscribe my YouTube channel. You can go and like my my Instagram and my Twitter. You can follow them as Martini with Eddie. I also have my own website, martinywitheddy.com. Thank you guys. And like I always say this at the end of the episode. I can sing, you guys. I have the deepest voice and it sounds horrible, but bye, besties.